What you're about to hear isn't just another message about kindness and unconditional love. It's a profound exploration of the human psyche, revealing a truth discovered by Carl Jung, one of history's greatest psychologists, after decades of studying the soul. If you've ever felt your kindness is turned against you, that people mistake your nobility for weakness, or that the more you give, the less you receive, this message will explain why. Jung noticed a disturbing pattern in his patients. Those who believed they were too good often suffered the most. But what does it truly mean to be good? In today's world, we've crafted an idealized image of goodness, someone who's always available, never says no, forgives without hesitation, and constantly puts others first. Jung realized this version of goodness wasn't just wrong, it was dangerous. When we confuse kindness with self-sacrifice, when we see love as the absence of boundaries, we become our own executioners. Jung uncovered something unsettling. The more we strive to be perfectly good, the stronger our shadow becomes. That hidden part of us we deny, suppress, and try to bury beneath layers of forced niceness. It's like trying to hold a ball underwater. The harder you push, the stronger it fights to rise. Picture your kindness as a bright light. Society teaches us that to keep that light on, we must shut off everything else, our anger, our needs, our limits. But Jung saw how flawed this idea was. True kindness doesn't come from denying who we are. It comes from embracing every part of us. How many times have you heard that inner voice whispering, "Enough," only to silence it, because a good person wouldn't think that way? How many times have you buried your anger, frustration, and pain, thinking these feelings make you less worthy? Every time you reject these parts of yourself, you don't become better. You become more broken. This message isn't telling you to give up on being kind. It's urging you to awaken from naive kindness and transform it into something deeper, stronger, and more complete. True kindness isn't the absence of darkness. It's the ability to integrate every part of who we are into a whole. What you're about to uncover might shake the foundation of everything you believed about goodness. It might challenge old beliefs about love, sacrifice, and authenticity. But if you dare to listen and allow yourself to question what you've always taken for granted, you'll find a truth that frees you. True kindness doesn't weaken you. It empowers you. It doesn't drain you. It fills you. It doesn't make you smaller. It makes you whole. This is the dark but honest wisdom Jung left behind. To be truly good, we must first become truly whole. And that journey begins by facing the shadows we've worked so hard to deny. When Jung spoke of the shadow, he referred to a genuine psychological force within us all, not something abstract or symbolic. It's a part of us we've been taught to fear, repress, and disown. This is where we hide what we perceive as unacceptable, our anger, deepest desires, right to say no, and need to be seen. For those who see themselves as inherently kind, the shadow is a terrifying place. Their identity is built around being the light, always helping, never failing, always present for everyone. The thought of having a dark side fills them with dread, as if admitting it would shatter their self-image. But denying the shadow comes at a high cost. When we reject it, pretending it doesn't exist, it gains power and becomes uncontrollable. It's like trying to hold back a river with your hands. Eventually, it will break through. Repressed energy doesn't vanish. It twists and mutates, emerging in ways we can't control. Overly kind people experience this subtly but destructively. It manifests as resentment after helping someone who never reciprocates, silent anger when others cross invisible boundaries, and deep sadness when they realize no one truly sees their needs. The more we strive to be perfectly good, the more vulnerable we become to our shadow. It's a strange paradox. Deny your anger, and you become passive-aggressive. Reject your need for recognition, and you become subtly manipulative. Pretend you don't need anything, and you become an emotional vampire, unconsciously draining others. According to Jung, the shadow isn't our enemy. It's an essential part of our inner world. It contains not only our negative traits, but also our unclaimed power, our ability to set healthy boundaries and stand up for ourselves when needed. Rejecting the shadow, we lose not just our darkness, but part of our light. Imagine someone who spent their life being the good one, taught that anger is bad, setting boundaries is selfish, and their needs come last. They don't just suppress their anger, they suppress their personal power, their ability to say no, their right to take up space. Their kindness becomes a self-made prison. Jung understood this isn't real kindness. It's fear disguised as virtue, fear of rejection, conflict, and not being enough. Truly kind people aren't those who never get angry or set limits. They're the ones who've learned to integrate all their parts into a coherent whole. When acknowledged and embraced, the shadow becomes a wellspring of strength. It's like a dark garden daring to enter, reveals not just our fears, but also our deepest powers. That's where naive kindness transforms into conscious wisdom. For Jung, true spiritual work isn't about eliminating the shadow. It's about learning to dance with it. It means understanding that our capacity for anger is as sacred as our capacity for love, that our boundaries are as crucial as our generosity, and that our need for recognition is as valid as our desire to give. This is the first step toward a more genuine and powerful kindness, realizing that the shadow is not your enemy, but a part of you that has long awaited acknowledgement and respect. When you finally dare to confront it, you may find that what you feared most is precisely what you needed to feel complete. Blind kindness comes at a cost not only in emotional exhaustion, but in delayed dreams, unbalanced relationships, and a half-lived life. It manifests as the constant fatigue of those who give endlessly, the silent frustration of those who suppress their own needs, and the deep loneliness of those surrounded by people who never truly see them. Consider someone who has made self-sacrifice their identity. This person not only gives their time and energy, but also essential parts of themselves. Every time they ignore their own needs for others, silence their voice to maintain peace, or say yes while their soul screams no, they're giving away pieces of their essence. The modern martyr doesn't wear a visible crown of thorns. Their suffering takes the form of sleepless nights worrying about others' problems, relationships where they always give more than they receive, and a schedule so packed with commitments to others that there's no room left for themselves. It's a lifestyle that society not only accepts, but praises, without seeing the deep self-neglect beneath that apparent nobility. Jung noted that this pattern of self-sacrifice often has deep roots in childhood. Perhaps you were the child who had to be the good one to maintain family peace, or learned that your worth depended on how much you could do for others. These early lessons become invisible chains that bind us to self-destructive behaviors. The relationships of someone who practices blind kindness follow a predictable script. They become everyone's confidant, the shoulder to cry on, the unwavering support. But when they need help, they're met with unsettling emptiness. People become so accustomed to receiving from them that they never even consider offering anything in return. It's a unique kind of loneliness, being surrounded by people who know your kindness, but not your heart. The exhaustion of constant giving isn't just physical. It's a soul-level fatigue that drains not only energy, but the joy of living. It's like a slow spiritual death, where the person gradually loses touch with their own dreams, desires, and needs, becoming an empty vessel, existing solely to fulfill others' needs. This imbalance creates a toxic dynamic where the kind person becomes increasingly essential to others while becoming more invisible to themselves. It's a form of codependency masked as virtue. In reality, it's a self-imposed prison. This person becomes a resource for others, gradually losing their own humanity. The cruel irony is that excessive kindness not only harms the one practicing it, but also those it's intended to help. By constantly rescuing others, always being available, and never letting them face the consequences of their actions, the chronically kind person stunts the growth of those they aim to save. This behavior not only drains you, but breeds resentment from someone who gave everything and received nothing in return. Someone who was there for everyone, yet finds no one there when they need support. When that resentment is buried under layers of kindness, it becomes a poison that slowly seeps into every relationship. This is the real cost of blind kindness. We don't just lose our energy, time, or peace of mind. We lose connection to our true essence, our deepest desires, and our ability to set healthy boundaries. We become diluted versions of ourselves, existing primarily to serve others' needs. Integrating the shadow is not an easy or comfortable process. It's a journey that demands courage, honesty, and the willingness to face what we've long avoided. It's like turning on a light in a room that's been dark for years. Initially, what we see might be unsettling, but only by seeing clearly can we begin to put things in order and transform. This process starts with acknowledging that our excessive kindness has often been a form of avoidance. We avoid conflict, rejection, and the possibility of being judged or criticized. Behind every act of excessive kindness lies a fundamental fear, the fear of not being loved for who we truly are. Transformation requires a specific kind of bravery. We must be willing to disappoint those who've grown used to our unconditional availability. It's like rewriting an invisible contract we've upheld with the world for years. The silent agreement has been, I'll be everything you need, and in return, you'll love me. But now, the new contract says, I'll be authentic, even if that means I won't always please you. Integrating the shadow doesn't mean becoming cruel or indifferent. On the contrary, it means developing a kindness that is more powerful and real. It's the difference between a weak flame that any breeze can blow out and a strong fire that gives warmth and light without being consumed. True integration happens when we realize that our ability to set boundaries is just as sacred as our ability to give. The power that comes from this integration is fundamentally different from cruelty. Cruelty is born from fear, weakness, and the need to dominate. True power, the kind that arises from integrating our shadow, comes from self-acceptance and the ability to stand in our truth without overpowering others. The wise kindness that results from this journey is like a tree with deep roots. It doesn't prove its strength by tearing others down. Its power is evident in its steadiness, offering shelter when appropriate, and maintaining its natural boundaries without apologizing for existing in the world. Those who achieve this integration discover a beautiful paradox. The more they accept their darkness, the more genuinely kind they become. They no longer give out of compulsion or fear, but from a conscious choice. Their generosity flows from abundance, not emptiness, and their compassion comes from strength, not weakness. This way of being requires a continued commitment to authenticity. It means recognizing that feeling anger can serve as a compass indicating where our limits have been crossed. It means accepting that saying no can be just as sacred as any yes we've ever offered. Integration also means acknowledging that not all our shadow parts are negative. Within that shadow lie our most powerful gifts, like discernment and intuition about others' intentions, and our fierce ability to protect what we hold sacred. The wise kindness from integration has discernment. It knows when to give and when to withhold, when to move closer, and when to maintain distance. It's not a kindness that spills out aimlessly, but one that flows with purpose and awareness. It's a kindness that honors both the giver and the receiver, seeing healthy boundaries as mutual respect. This transformation allows us to navigate the world differently. We're no longer the candle that burns out to light others' paths. We become the lighthouse, radiating our light, guiding others without depletion. Our kindness becomes more powerful because we no longer need everyone's approval or love. The true integration of the shadow allows us to be kind, not out of fear of being something else, but because we choose to be, out of wholeness. It's a kindness that includes our strength, our limits, our ability to say no, and our willingness to disappoint when necessary. At its core, it is kindness born not from fear, but from truth. Establishing healthy boundaries is a practice Jung saw as essential to psychological development. Yet, for those who've built their identity around endless kindness, setting limits can feel like a betrayal of their innermost nature. This is where ancient wisdom becomes especially relevant. Boundaries are not walls that divide us from others. They are sacred lines that define where we end and where others begin. The ability to create boundaries starts with a revolutionary act, recognizing our inherent worth. Our worth isn't determined by what we give or do for others, but by the inherent value we possess simply for being. This recognition isn't selfish. It's an essential act of psychological honesty. When we genuinely value ourselves, a new way of interacting with the world emerges. We no longer feel the need to justify our existence through excessive goodness. We begin to understand that reciprocity in relationships is not a luxury, but a psychological necessity. Healthy relationships maintain a balance of giving and receiving. This understanding transforms how we engage with others. We realize that allowing others to repeatedly cross our boundaries not only harms us, but also prevents them from learning to respect personal limits. True kindness includes the strength to uphold clear boundaries, as these protect both our ability to give and the dignity of those who receive. People who establish healthy boundaries encounter an intriguing paradox. Their relationships, though fewer, become much more meaningful. Some may drift away when we are no longer unconditionally available, but those who remain truly respect and value us as whole beings. Setting boundaries involves developing a new emotional vocabulary. We begin to distinguish between genuine guilt and manipulated guilt, between true responsibility and burdens we've wrongly assumed. This process also involves recognizing that our time, energy, and emotional resources are limited and precious. We can't give from an empty well, and maintaining our boundaries ensures we always have something to offer when it's truly needed and appropriate. Protecting our kindness doesn't come from building walls, but from wisely discerning where, when, and with whom we share our gifts. It's like tending a garden, requiring both clear borders and constant care to thrive. By properly guarding our energy and resources, our capacity for genuine kindness grows stronger, not weaker. The alchemy of transformation is a profound process that begins when we permit our light and shadow to coexist. It's like watching two streams merge to create something entirely new, neither purely light nor purely dark, but a new kind of power born from conscious integration. This alchemical journey starts when we stop resisting our dual nature. Jung discovered that true transformation doesn't occur by trying to eliminate our darker parts, but by allowing them to teach us what we need to learn. Our anger highlights where boundaries are needed. Our resentment indicates where we've been giving too much. Our sadness reveals where more care is required, and authentic strength emerges from this integration like gold purified through the alchemical fire of self-awareness. It's no longer the brute force of aggression or the weakness masked as endless kindness. It evolves into a refined power, one that knows when to advance and when to retreat, when to give and when to preserve, when to speak and when to stay silent. People who reach this integration develop a distinct presence. They don't need to prove their goodness or power. They simply embody it. Their authenticity serves as their shield, and their truth as their sword. They've realized that true strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering themselves. The wisdom from this transformation is like a controlled flame, able to warm or burn depending on its use. Those who attain this state understand that their power isn't meant for domination, but to protect what is sacred, including their essence. They've learned that kindness without discernment is as dangerous as power without compassion. This new way of existing demands constant vigilance, not from fear, but from heightened awareness. It's like tending a balanced garden where some plants need more sun, others more shade, and the wise gardener knows both are necessary for a healthy ecosystem. Similarly, we learn to nourish both our light and shadow, knowing both are essential to our wholeness. The kindness from this transformation is a conscious choice, not driven by fear or guilt. It's a kindness that knows its worth, doesn't need constant validation, and can say no without guilt and yes without resentment. It's a kindness at peace with its own shadow and doesn't fear darkness in others. This transformation is ongoing, not a final destination. It's an eternal dance between light and shadow, power and compassion, giving and receiving. Every day offers new opportunities to refine this balance, to choose how to use our power to be kind from strength rather than fear. This personal growth creates a ripple effect around us. When we embrace our wholeness, we give others permission to do the same. By demonstrating that one can be both strong and kind, powerful and compassionate, we establish a new model of what it means to be truly human. The ultimate transformation leads us to understand that real kindness is not a constraint, but a liberating power. It's not a mask for acceptance, but an authentic expression of who we are. It's a state where our power and compassion come from the same source, where our light and shadow unite to create something greater than their sum. The journey we've explored through Jung's wisdom isn't just a set of ideas, but an invitation to deep transformation. A transformation begins when we accept that our kindness doesn't need to be perfect to be meaningful, that our power doesn't need to be feared to be respected, and that our wholeness includes both light and shadow. Jung has taught us that to live a more genuine and powerful life, we must embrace our dual nature, not deny it. By integrating our shadow and allowing our power and kindness to coexist, we become more complete and capable of creating the life we truly desire. The invitation now is to take the next step. Look within and ask yourself, what parts of you have you been denying to appear good? What power have you been suppressing out of fear of rejection? What boundaries have you been avoiding to avoid disappointing others? Remember, your kindness doesn't rely on being perfect. Your worth isn't measured by how much you give or sacrifice. Your power doesn't diminish your ability to love, and your boundaries don't make you any less deserving of love. Jung's transformation isn't a destination, but a continuous journey. Each day presents new chances to choose authenticity over people-pleasing, conscious power over masked weakness, and real kindness over automatic self-sacrifice. The world needs people who have integrated both their light and shadow, understanding that true goodness arises from conscious integration, not repression. It needs whole individuals who embody both strength and compassion, who know when to give and when to hold back, recognizing that their boundaries are as sacred as their ability to love. As you finish this message, remember, you're not here to be perfect. You're here to be whole. In that wholeness, in integrating every part of you, you'll find not only the strength to create the life you dream of, but also the wisdom to live it authentically and powerfully. The question isn't whether you're good enough. The real question is, are you ready to be truly powerful? Not the power that dominates, but the power that transforms. Not the power that fears the shadow, but the one that integrates it to create something greater than ourselves. If this message resonated with you, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's walk this path of transformation together